Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Grammy Award-winning entertainer, business entrepreneur, and investor Armando Christian Perez and global reporter for CNBC, Seema Modi.
It's football.
I guess they gave me the wrong mic. That's okay. I'll do it again.
This is too fun. All right. Armando Christian Perez, Mr. 305 to Mr. Worldwide, as he's known. Pitbull.
Oh, thank you so much.
A lot
I
of
appreciate
names.
it.
What do you like to go by?
Well, if I'm around family, they call me Mandy. Armandito. So you can call me Armandito.
Okay, Armandito. Thank you for doing this with us today. This is
No, thank you
great.
for
We're
having
so
me.
excited to have you here.
Well, for one, I want to tell you, everybody here, thank you guys so much for the support on Emerge America. This is our 5th year. There's no way we'd be able to grow this if it wasn't for you guys. And for two, it's another honor to be able to be in a room full of people that want to take full advantage of any opportunity that's out there. So thank you guys for having me here today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, let's pick up on that specific point. I mean, you are an award-winning musician, but you have this love for entrepreneurship and investing in startups. Where did that come from, and how does that kind of also play into where your family came from, the struggles that they encountered, what they tried to do to achieve that American dream to give you a good life?
Well, for one, the reason that Emerge is something that's so important to me is because it's a part of our fabric, our DNA, meaning Miami. And Miami was a city that nobody believed in. Miami is a city that has fought for its reputation. Miami is a city to this day where people look at it and they think, those guys don't know how to do business. But yet we're a city that in 40 years we've become a mecca throughout the whole world. So I sat down with a partner, which is Manny Medina, who gave me the honor to be able to be a partner with him. And we spoke about the fact that there was an opportunity out there for Latin America, and there was an opportunity out there for Miami in the tech world. So motivated us through a Silicon Valley, a Silicon Alley, a Silicon Paradise to create a Silicon 305 so that we would give the Latin America the platform and the sound off to be able to go to these companies and let them know, it's like, okay, don't worry about it. You don't have to see me now, but you're going to see me later. One way or another, you're going to see me. And that's what Emerge is about, and that's why we invest in everybody out here, because we were startups. We're still a startup. I still wake up every morning to somebody telling me, no, won't happen, never happen, you're crazy, you're stupid, why you going that way? Which motivates me. So to be in a room full of people that get that every day, there's nothing like that one time that somebody goes, wow, what an amazing idea, I'm willing to invest. But guess what? That's when everything starts, because then you figure out that an idea and an opportunity is that tangible, and all you want to do is continue to challenge yourself, you know? And that's where this comes from. So that's why I say genuinely from the heart, muchas gracias a todo el mundo aquí. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you.
And you continue to challenge yourself. We look at technology, there are so many different opportunities to invest in. One specific area that has caught your attention is blockchain. Talk to us about your interest in this new space.
Well, my interest in this new space is because, look, I think technology is something very, very powerful. We need to learn how to utilize it, not it utilize us. Okay? Number one. Number two, the reason that blockchain caught my attention is because I said, wow, they created a cryptocurrency, a currency that's based on, I don't know what is tangible behind it, but either or, it's happening as we speak, right? I'm just being real with you. And I said, wow, me being a part of the music business, which I say it all the time, the music business, half of the people don't know music, half of them don't know business. Have no business in music. What is this? This is what I live with, okay? It's the truth. Where literally common sense is not that common. So I said, man, what this blockchain, what it smells like to me, because I really don't understand how it gets down, but it smells like freedom. It smells like independence. It smells like this is a way where we can tell major companies, that's why I wanted to call it a smackathon, you know, where we could, bah, galletica, you know what I mean? O una galleta sin mano, it all depends. You know, there's nothing better when you can smack somebody without touching them. So that's why we call it a smackathon. That's why we've been looking at blockchain, because I feel this is something that can revolutionize the music business.
Yeah, talk to us about Smackathon. What exactly is this specific concept, the competition that you're launching here?
If there's one thing, anytime you catch me on stage, I'll never bullshit you, I'll never lie to you. I don't know what we're gonna do with this. All I know is that we're starting it. Okay. It's real. I don't know where to apply it, how to apply it. We found somebody, which is Zeppelin, that happens to be somebody that really understands the whole blockchain movement. All I did was bring an idea, myself, Melissa, and we spoke to him and said, man, these are not my frustrations. I don't get frustrated. But this is something that I see in the future that's really going to hurt a lot of artists coming in the game. So this isn't for myself. This is for them. I've been very, very blessed to establish a brand. And not only establish a brand, a household name where if you Google Pitbull, I come up before the dog. That's how hard we've worked, you know? So I do this for the future. I do this for these artists who, catch this one. Someone named Charlie Watt gave me this one, and it's the truth. He said, music sells everything but itself. How many of these companies are evaluated at multi-billions of dollars due to the fact that music was a part of their process?
Right.
Well, I want the future generation to be partners in those processes so that their art, what they give to the world, is valued at what it should be. I got 13 billion views aggregated on YouTube. If I had $1 for each view, I'd have $13 billion, wouldn't I? But I don't. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So I want to make sure that they take full advantage of what the future looks like, and hopefully through blockchain we'll be able to do that.
One of the reasons we're even talking about blockchain is because of cryptocurrencies, right? These new digital currencies that came to market really in the last couple of years, Bitcoin among others, and that really shed light on the underlying technology that it operates on, which is blockchain, and that got a lot of interest to your point. But backing up a little bit and looking at cryptocurrencies, are you invested in any of them? Are you looking to launch them? Because there are a lot of musicians and celebrities that are saying, hey, why don't I get in on the action as well?
I look at it as, you know, that's why I tell you, first we shine the shoes, then we own the shoe shop. First we make the sandwiches, then we own the restaurants.
So many good quotes.
Yeah? No, first we clean the houses, then we own every house on the block. Okay? So I looked at Bitcoin, which was like in about 2011. I happened to be in China, and I watched this whole documentary on Bitcoin. I was still trying to put it together because I'm like, okay, what's the tangible part to Bitcoin? What makes this have value? Okay? And I asked about it. So as the years went on, now Bitcoin's doing what it's doing, and you have all these other cryptocurrencies that are coming up under it, under that umbrella. I said, why don't we just create our own blockchain? Forget a Bitcoin, let's make a Pitcoin.
Are you launching a Bitcoin?
That's what we're talking about doing right now.
Okay.
So these are the things that I look at, and that's a beautiful thing, and what I mean by technology. Utilize it, don't let it utilize you. And literally, there is no, like they told me, well, I told you guys on the video you guys just watched, and they told me that the sky's the limit until I figured out there's footprints on the moon. Well, with technology, you're starting to figure out there's footprints on Mars, footprints on this planet, there's another planet, another universe, another galaxy, and that to me is where the opportunities are endless. But not just for me, it's for everybody. Because cualquier persona aquí, any person here that eats a full plate of food, what's the first thing you get? You get that itis, don't you? You know, start to nod off at the table because you're eating too much. Me personally, I like to share my food. I like to share anything that we come across. That way we all eat together. That's what this is about, and that's what eMERGE is about. That's what the blockchain is about.
When looking at this new area of interest, are you looking to recruit some of your peers in the music industry, DJ Khaled, J-Lo, among others, who could potentially play a role in this space?
All of them are people that I have immense respect for, and they're only where they're at because they work hard. Jennifer, militant, diligent. Khaled will out-hustle you. I've watched him since he used to have a show on a pirate radio, which was Mix 96 in, like, I would say 1993 or 4. So I've watched him come up the way he's come up. The crazy thing is, being in the music game for so many years, I've been in the game for 18 years at this point. Been very, very blessed, thank God, and thanks to the fans for that. Pero with that said is, sometimes when you're in the music game, and the music game, what it's done for so many years, is think like a dinosaur. They should have bought Napster instead of sued Napster. They should have done a deal with Steve Jobs instead of fight him. So sometimes people take a little bit of time to get what the idea is gonna be. So what I like to do, I like to be the guinea pig. I like to take the risk. I'm the one that bets on ourselves and goes, guys, this really works. I would never come and sell you a pipe dream. So you gotta give me a little bit of time to make it come to life. And that's why I say, pasos cortos, vista larga. Short steps, long vision.
There's been intense competition in the music space, specifically looking at the music streaming sites like Spotify. What do you make of that environment right now?
I think Spotify has the right idea, but at the end of the day, it's still a business. And what I mean by that is, the labels have a piece of Spotify.
Yeah.
So the more you feed the beast, the higher the evaluation. That's the way this works, bottom line. So the only thing, I think Spotify is moving in the right direction to give us certain freedom to a certain extent. Once we break down the numbers, it's a whole different animal. That's why we're talking about this blockchain opportunity, right? But the only thing that can hurt Spotify if it falls into the same trap that the old music business fell into. The two biggest diseases in the world, greed and ignorance. Because they were ignorant not to step into technology in the late 90s, all right, in the early 2000s. And greed is what made them blind, because they were so busy making so much money from the cassettes to turnover, the cassettes to CD turnover, that they weren't even looking at the future. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen now. If it does, then I guess we'll be talking about another company in 5 years.
Really interesting to get your views just on this whole landscape. You are, though, one of the judges of today's eMERGE startup competition. Do you plan to invest in any of these companies? How do you plan on participating in these startups that are about to
let's
present?
see what kind of opportunities come about. I just want to say to anybody that's coming up presenting your company, I could just imagine what that kind of journey was to at least be here. So congratulations to you guys, and congratulations to everybody that has worked very hard and tried to get where you're at right now. So, and on another note, I'm far from a Shark Tank. I'm more like a guppy. I'm working my way to be a remora, all right? But don't worry about it, we'll get there. If anybody doesn't know what a remora is the fish that you see always sucking the shark while it's on its journey. All right, I'm just trying to put you on the game. That's Miami things.
Good
I got
visual.
you.
All right.
Yo soy tipo tropical, that's the problem. This tropical.
On that note, we will kick off the eMERGE America Startup Showcase. Here we go.
You gotta hit him with that, yeah!
Here's the backdrop. I'll let you do that. Here's how we got here, though. 110 companies have gone through virtual boot camps and different tests, all for this moment right now to present to Pitbull and our two other judges, Jason Calanis and Gil Beta of Comcast Ventures, who will join us now. And we'll get this little competition going.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Good seeing you. Yep. Have some fun.
There we go. All right, where we going?
There you go.
Put me in the hot seat.
Yeah.
There you go.
So we went from 110 companies, and now we are down to 5. 1 is at the university level, 2 at the early stage level, and 2 at the late stage. So these companies have gone through a lot of different trials and tribulations to get to today's pitch, and we're going to get things started. Judges, are you ready?
We are ready.
We're ready. Are you ready?
What do they win?
All right, Jason, Pitbull, and Mr. Gill. Here we go. First company that is going to present is Babylon Micro Farm from the university level.
Courtesy monitors right there. Micro farms. I wonder what they're going to grow there.
Tiny plants.
Good evening.
Basil.
Hello.
Can everyone hear me? Thank
you
you,
have 5
judges.
minutes.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you about a project that started at the University of Virginia, where we were tasked with building hydroponic systems for refugees, allowing them to have freedom and independence to grow their own fresh, organic produce. Wow. Hydroponics is a means of growing crops using 90% less water than conventional agriculture. Crops grow twice as quickly, and there are no GMOs or pesticides. It has long been heralded as the replacement for conventional agriculture, but it has never been commercially viable. So the reason that hydroponics could provide a means of solving this crucial problem, giving anyone access to fresh organic produce. And we see this as a huge macro trend across the world where people want healthier, fresh organic produce. One of the reasons that it hasn't been commercially viable is because the technology hasn't been available to use this precision means of growing crops. And what we have developed is an automated hydroponic system that uses proprietary technology to create the perfect growing conditions for crops, no matter the weather, no matter the season, so you can grow high yields of crops in an enclosed environment all year round. And this collects data on every single aspect of plant growth, from the environment it's grown in to the nutrients it's in. So you're able to refine recipes and create the perfect growing conditions for your crops, no matter what. The system we've developed is designed to work with our network of pre-seeded refills that can track each individual plant from seed to harvest. This allows you to refine recipes and also can provide the foundation for a complete system of hydroponic growing. The interface we've developed uses proprietary recipes that we've comprised that ensure the best, highest quality results every time. However, We also have a developer kit that allows other growers to use our technology to refine their own operation and create their own recipes. We're using this system to develop the next generation of kitchen appliances. What we have here is a modular urban farm where each individual shelf can be segmented to create the perfect growing conditions for each respective crop. As a result, these individual units can allow people to grow high yields of fresh organic produce all year round, and all run using our pre-seeded refill pods. So all you as the user have to do is insert the pod, the system will grow it for you, and alert you when it's ready to harvest. We're designing these systems to be the most intuitive urban farming devices on the market, and they use higher level of technology than anything currently in existence, allowing them to serve as functional appliances that can grow food on demand. This is a massive market. We're primarily targeting restaurants, but we could also put it in homes. We're also targeting hotels, motels, and holiday inns. And as a result, so the restaurant market in the US is a $6.5 billion market. And we're based in Charlottesville, Virginia, so we're targeting the 170 high-end restaurants there. Our business model comprised of high-margin hardware sales, all designed to use the same IoT platform and pre-seeded refill pods. You see there we have the table farm. That was a product we released last year. We sold $39,500 worth of that product. We were able to build a strong customer base and learn a lot from them. We've since stopped selling that, focused all of our attention on the microfarm, which has learned from our customer feedback exactly what they want to create a highly productive, beautifully designed, functional appliance. These appliances retail for $8,000. We're currently taking pre-orders for $5,000 if anyone's interested. And we have a gross margin of 87%. Over a 3-year time period, these machines will have a lifetime customer value of $15,800. However, in the long term, we believe this powerful real-world solution that we've created could empower a new generation of indoor farming appliances, giving people freedom and access to fresh organic produce across the world. However, we recognize that as a small university-based startup, we can't do this alone. So what we're looking to do is partner with large-scale hardware manufacturers to use our core technology and refined growing system, and of course the consumables, to create a powered by Babylon situation, whereby a new generation of urban farms and green cities can use the consumables we've developed and the technology to create automated growing platforms of any shape or format. The competitive advantages we have is by creating a very tech-heavy platform, we've drastically simplified it into a very easy-to-use, simple interface. By creating basically a computer that can grow crops for you hydroponically, it's incredibly versatile. It can be extended to any type of crop. We're focused on leafy greens and lettuce, but I'm sure a lot of you are thinking about cannabis, and that is something that's coming next. But the computer itself is versatile, and therefore it can grow a wide range of crops, and it's agnostic to what type of crop you want to grow. As a result, it's incredibly scalable, and we have a number of commercial grow operations that are going to use our sensor package and dosing systems to convert their grow rooms into smart rooms from dumb rooms, therefore allowing them to optimize their facilities and also providing a platform for them to use our consumables. The competitive landscape has been dominated by weed growing machines on the tech side, and really decorative, non-functional systems. I'm sure some of you may recognize these brands if you're familiar with the space, but none of them use the same high level of technology and design to create this perfect user interface that can self-refine itself with the data it collects. We have a well-rounded team, including myself, Graham Smith, who's a co-founder sitting in the crowd. He's a biomed engineering computer science major. We were building these systems for refugees for the last 2 years. We recently taken on Sam Korn. He's from Colorado and Boulder. No guesses what he was building there. And he was doing IoT development for growing operations out there. Will Graham quit his job, moved back from Brazil to join our team and lead up the sales and marketing team. And Carl McCrory is our specialist hydroponic grower who made his career at Gotham Greens, which is one of the largest hydroponic operations in the US.
All right, you are out of time. Thank
you.
you. And now we will engage in a bit of Q&A. So judges, you have a short amount of time to ask a couple of questions.
Yes, so I get the value proposition, and I think you're solving a real problem. So I love that aspect of it. I was a little confused on who's your customer, who's going to buy it, and do they have to then sell the produce, find folks to buy the produce? How does that work?
So the next slide was going to be our long-term roadmap that covered all that. So we currently are focused on restaurants. The previous product we released was targeted consumers. We found out that consumers are a tough nut to crack. And so
a restaurant would have this in the back.
So actually, we've designed it to be front of house, and we've designed it to have a payback period of between 12 and 18 months when growing certain rare varieties of crops, microgreens, certain highly perishable ingredients where the only determinant of quality is how fresh they are. So there's nothing more farm to table than having a machine that can grow fresh produce for you all year round, on demand, and therefore we designed it to replace some of the supply of their ingredients.
And they could be growing a number of different herbs and spices
Yes.
in one unit. Got
Yes.
it. Okay.
So this will be in a restaurant in the front of house, and they will do it to save money or to have fresher ingredients. Which one? And have you actually put it in a restaurant yet? And what research have you done to determine that, market research, to determine that restaurants actually want to give up table space for this?
So we have $189,000 in pre-orders at the moment, all targeted at restaurants and hotels.
How many customers does that equal?
So I think it's between 23 and 24. They
How
pay
did you
different
acquire
price.
them?
What?
How did you-
We go door to door, non-stop.
You went door to door.
What?
You did?
We did, and well, in the crowd did.
All right, I like it. How much has been invested?
What? We've got a round open at the moment. We have $485,000 committed of our $500,000 target.
How much has been invested to date?
$450,000.
So you've spent $450,000 to get this far?
No, so that round is in the last month. We've won $53,000 in grant funding in 2017 that's funded all of this.
$53,000 to get to here.
Yeah.
Let's give him a big round of applause for that. That's super capital efficient.
As far as on my end, a couple pointers. Just when you're speaking to the mic so we can really hear you, because I'm having I'm trying to listen to what you got going on. I think it's an amazing product on what you got going on. And like you said before, it's feeding a purpose that, whether we talk about it or we don't, the world is pretty much in a drought at this point. So if this is a way that they can save water and at the same time farm, it's amazing on that side. Now, speaking about, we were talking about cryptocurrency earlier, and I'm a Miami boy, so I know a lot about things growing in houses. But, and at least that was a real cryptocurrency, if you know what I'm talking about.
It was monetizable?
Yeah, very, very. Now
Well,
that
how's
to
the
me
margin?
is, that to me is, will you be able to do that in the long run with this setup that you got going on? And obviously we're talking about cannabis.
Yes, so we're actively pursuing that. One of the things we're looking to do is, so we create a complete data profile on every single plant that's grown, and we're able to track them from seed to harvest. You can then therefore package that data with each individual plant. So that has applications using blockchain for the cannabis industry and across the entire food system.
Also,
So it is-
take his tip on the microphone, hold it like this, like he does, like a
Yeah,
professional.
there you go, I got you.
That's it.
You just happen to be a part of my life, that's it.
Okay.
Nah,
Now we can hear you.
yeah.
Is that better?
Much
oh, yeah.
better.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
From the pro.
Everybody's
There
learning.
you go. That was like $10,000 advice right there.
There we go.
But
Babylon
good to hear it's a part of the
Microfarm.
plan.
Babylon Microfarm.
And is the cannabis a bigger market? And if so, why aren't you in that business?
It's a bigger market. This is an untapped market for us, and also as a branding strategy to align ourselves with chefs right now would allow us, we create a better brand image to start off with, but it's coming later.
But it is a part of the goal.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. All right, just making sure.
All right, thank you
about it.
so much.
Thank you, my friend. Congratulations.
Good job.
Thank you.
That's pretty strong. Good start.
And next up is Daycation from the early stage level. Come on up.
Okay, maybe not. Cold feet? Microphone.
Here we go.
He's got it.
Oh, the clicker. Okay.
All right. That was a clicker issue. Got it.
The clicker
How's
issue,
everybody
got
doing
it.
today?
Good.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Great to see you guys. So I'm Matt Boney. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Daycation, and we sell access to hotel amenities for the day without having to get a room or spend the night at the hotel. So I want to take you guys to Cancun, Mexico, where I was with my family and we were staying at an Airbnb. You can see us crammed in the elevator here. Every year I would go to Cancun with my family and we would enjoy basically this wonderful vacation, but we would stay at hotels. And this was the first year that we were using Airbnb. And when I got there, I was like, yes, it's going to be awesome. And we show up, but the problem is we don't have any amenities. No pool, no spa, no steam room, no gym. So the first thing I do, of course, is leave the Airbnb and go knock on hotel doors and say, hey, can I come in and use your facilities for the day? And they tell me, no, you can't unless you're spending the night at the hotel or you have a room. So basically, I was studying economics at Brand University at the time while we were on vacation. I basically go back to school and I'm sitting there thinking about all these things in economics class, and one night I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, we have to create this system around all these hotel amenities around the world and let anyone book access to them just for the day without having to get a room or spend the night at the hotel. So I drop out of Brown University and start creating this system. It turns out I wasn't the only person that actually lacks access to these amenities. Over 80% of travelers worldwide, both on the hotel and on the Airbnb side, lack access to premium amenities when traveling. And 80% of locals around the globe also lack access to these amenities. So the system that we built connects travelers to the hotel amenities, allowing hotels to monetize their underutilized space, and allowing travelers and locals to enjoy these awesome facilities for the day. So we also thought, okay, this is a great product for places like Cancun and also for places like Miami, but what about the rest of the world? What about the small towns? What about the medium and large cities? What about these weird places around the world that aren't these meccas? And so we tested out the product at a hotel I grew up working at in Victor, Idaho. That was our first partner property to test it out. People staying at Airbnbs and locals enjoyed the product and got to use it there. Also, we had people in New York City and Providence, Rhode Island, when I was like sleeping on my friends' floors at school after I dropped out and had no money. I signed up a hotel there, and people were buying day passes to this indoor hotel, an Omni hotel in Providence, Rhode Island. And then we partnered with one in New York, and then we finally said, okay, let's move our headquarters to Miami so we can partner with all these amazing hotels here and prove out the model. So over the last few months, we've been growing month over month at an average percentage of 65% month over month. Last month, we did 300 guest bookings, 14K in gross bookings, and we are continuing to expand sort of our reach here in Miami, deepen our ties with the hotels here, and continue to drive that business model forward. You can see that we have strategic partnerships and things we're putting in place now that are going to allow us to acquire customers much more efficiently and continue to grow. So we also have amazing hotels here. They represent brands that are around the world. We have hotels from Marriott, we have a hotel from Hyatt, from Lowe's, and these are just a small subsegment of basically hotels around the globe, 57,000 of them, that have over $17 billion of unsold inventory sitting there waiting to be captured by vacation guests. So our hotels and guests are loving this. Hotels are telling us amazing things about the product. It's really a high margin product for them. They're just selling extra space. That's something hard to find in the hotel industry because everything is typically lower margin. And our guests on property are spending a lot of money. Originally, we thought, oh, well, people are just going to be very cheap staying at an Airbnb and go on property and spend $5. What actually turned out is at one of our hotels that we partnered with, our guests are spending twice as much per person as their overnight guests are. So we're actually seeing that it's more of an experience product for those guests. On the guest side, we're seeing that our guests are really loving it. Those staying at Airbnbs and hotels without amenities are saying this 10x'd their stay. They've had an amazing time, and they continue to enjoy our product every time they come on vacation to Miami, and we have some locals that repeat purchase as well. So what we're doing is we're standing at the epicenter of the hotel industry and the hospitality industry in general, tying together Airbnbs, hotels, and locals, and continuing to drive forward an experience that we believe can really define hospitality and hotels for the future as they face this conundrum of what are they, as companies like Airbnb continue to rise and gain guest share. So we hope to be a fast casual experience for the consumer. We're based in Miami. We have an amazing team, and we hope that we can be a shining success for the 305 and take it worldwide. Thank you.
Nice job.
Okay, so before you fully leave Brown University, you have to answer this question here.
I already left.
Okay.
3 years ago. Yeah, sorry.
I'll ask it anyway.
Okay, sure.
So at some point, the hotels are going to get smart, and they're going to realize that people are staying next door at the Airbnb for a tenth of the price and just paying a small premium to go to the hotel. And it might cannibalize the hotel visitorship. So how do you deal with that?
Well, actually, if you look at Airbnb statistics, what's interesting is they say everyone that's used Airbnb, like the more they use it, the more they're loyal to that brand. So what hotels are more worried about is people that try it out, Airbnb I mean, and continue to use it and don't even think of hotels. One thing I forgot to mention on the hotel slide is that our hotel partners are saying this is a great way to market our product to markets we aren't reaching right now. So they're afraid that people are staying at Airbnbs and just have no clue they exist. Me as a millennial, like if I were staying at Airbnbs or had grown up staying at Airbnbs, I probably wouldn't even know that the Hyatt down the street has this fantastic facility.
So the hotels look at it as a potential customer acquisition channel.
Customer acquisition, and also just in general, like they're spending a lot of money on pretty profitable outlets there, so the hotels like them.
It's a brilliant idea.
Thank you.
The people who are impacted most by Airbnbs right now are the 2- and 3-star hotels, not the 4- and 5 stars, and they're looking for additional revenue streams. You're charging $50 per person based on the back of the envelope math there. And you take, what, 30%?
Yeah, so our percentage right now is 28% if you average the percentages. It differs per hotel. Each contract we go into the hotel.
$50 is the average to come for the day?
Yeah. Yep.
It's going to be really appealing to locals who want to use pools.
Exactly.
Because there are so few of those.
Yeah.
And I guess my question for you here is, are you going to take a city-by-city approach to this and have density in the city? And then the second question is, how are you getting customers? How are you acquiring your customers? Have you figured out a way to sustainably acquire them? Because you're only making $50, or actually you're only making 15 of the 50. So that's a really bad, that's a really small margin.
Yep, exactly.
You can't really spend a lot of money to acquire a customer. Explain that.
Yeah, I really enjoy that question. So first, market by market is a great approach. That's one that we're taking. There's also the opportunity to prove out the revenue model that we have here and to present that to the brands to show them basically they can do the calculation, say, okay, we're making 10K at a hotel per month. We have 100 hotels. We can make, however
And they
much.
cannot offer on one day. So if it's busy season, they can say, we don't have any availability.
Yep.
Okay, how do you acquire customers?
Yeah, so right now our CAC is $4.60 per customer.
Facebook?
No. It's mainly Google. People are searching
Google
for hotel
search.
day passes, so it's SEO and SEM.
Well done.
Yeah, so that's, but actually to add on to that, that's not the only way we can acquire customers, and that's what I mentioned. We have some more interesting B2B to C opportunities.
You can go to the Airbnb hosts and offer
like
them
that.
to do it
Exactly.
and include it.
So that's what we're working on, stuff like that right now.
It's really good.
Thank you. Which lowers the cost drastically for CAC.
Well, as far as myself being here from Miami, here we go again, I've seen this work already, so you're obviously down the right path. I think they actually do it right here, right up the block. It's called the Standard, if I'm not mistaken, where they give you a day pass and they allow you to use the spa, the pool, and I hear nothing but rave reviews about people that go there. So I already see something that can definitely work. And me growing up in Miami, like Iocho, we see motels all day and they work, so you get 2 hours, $12, you're good to go. So we know it's a model that works.
Yeah, well,
I can be the spokesperson for Daycation.
you could be, but
I think it's an amazing idea. And
Wait,
congratulations.
are you saying there are hotels that are available for 2 hours a stay?
Oh yeah.
What would somebody do in a hotel for only 2 hours?
Oh, we from Miami. We know what to do with 2 hours.
I'll actually.
And Daycation.
Bilingual, single, and ready to mingle. You have to stop.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Daycation. Oh, you can put it on there. All right.
2 hours? That's a lot
Next
of time.
up is Statosphere, an influencer marketing firm. Please join us on stage.
This is a great company. I'm an investor.
So hi, my name is Kristen Wiley, founder of Statosphere, and we help brands scale their micro-influencer marketing efforts. Now, influencer marketing is slated to become a $5 to $10 billion industry over the next 5 years, and it's with good reason. So look at this statistic. 92% of people trust recommendations from individuals, even if they don't know them, over brands. So think of the last time you were in Publix or your local supermarket and you're picking out bread, and there's a million different types, which is just crazy to me, and you can't figure out which one you want, and then some lady's like, I had that one last week, and it was awesome. There's a 92% chance, probably, that you're gonna buy that bread. And even though you have no idea who this lady is or her credibility, and it happens to all of us. But unfortunately, when people think of influencer marketing, they think of people like our friend Kim Kardashian, who have millions and millions of followers, or even YouTubers with hundreds of thousands of followers that command big dollars to be able to advertise with them. And there's actually a much better way, and that's through micro-influencers. So think of, Leia from the gym, and she posts really cute outfit photos, and I bought these boots because she posted about them. Or Grace from work that posts makeup tips. And these real women are relatable, and you end up making your real purchasing decisions based on them versus on the likes of Kim Kardashian. And it's not just me saying that. These micro-influencers actually have 4 times the engagement rate when compared to big celebrities. So if you can round them up, you can actually move the needle more, and it's more cost effective. The hard part is rounding them all up, which is what we do great at Statusphere. So how it works is influencers apply to join our platform, and we actually vet them on strict criteria, and we actually accept 10% of influencers to apply. So once they're accepted, they fill out their profile, and they get matched each month with products based on their likes and dislikes. So if they're vegan, we only show them vegan products, and so on. They pick which products they want in exchange for agreeing to post about them on their social networks. We then box them up and ship it to them. So it's like their own subscription box that they get monthly in exchange for posting. And that box itself actually gives us great margins, which I'll talk about in a second. And then they post about it, and we provide a report to the brands. So brands are already doing this. I worked at an agency for 5 years doing influencer marketing outreach. And right now, your only options are to spend hours internally, messaging one by one, or purchasing really expensive tools that start around $2,000 a month, and then you have to pay someone like me to manage that tool. Now, with Statusphere, we have no platform access fee, no additional employee to manage it, and we have superior data integrity because we get the data directly from the influencers and not just guessed through a third party. So how do we make money? We have two options. We have flat rate cost per influencer campaigns. So those can be, a company comes to us and I want 100 influencers. We can get them posting within 30 days. Or a lot of smaller brands opt for the influencers per month strategy, subscription, where they'll do 15 to 25 influencers a month with us. So back to our margins, to talk more about them. Here's a typical box with 3 brands we've worked with. Each brand pays around $100 an influencer. So we package this box up, we make $300, giving us a 90% gross margin. And just to show you how scalable it is, 300 boxes per month gets us to a 1 million run rate, and just me and one other full-time employee, she's right over there, we've shipped over 100 last month alone. Additional revenue streams include product sampling and feedback data, along with selling additional rights to photography. So since we launched a little over a year ago, we've had over 3,400 influencers that have applied to the platform. And like I said, we only accept 10%, so we have over 300 in the platform. And we've had almost 40 paying brands in a variety of industries. We started in the skincare and beauty space, and now we've moved into other spaces such as books, and we've even done tickets to events. And we actually just worked with Fossil on their new Misfit watch last month, their new smartwatch. So we have over 100,000 in revenue. We just closed another client just a little while ago, so higher than this. And you might know Jason. We just got into his Launch Accelerator program.
Who? Never heard of it.
And it's been really great. And I will say we actually applied to this to this Emerge way before we even got in the program. So this is weirdly coincidental. But you know him already, so I don't need to explain. But we're in his Launch Accelerator, and it's been great. Our leadership team includes me and our other 2 rock stars, Matt and Teresa's right over there. And so we're ready to scale this thing up, and we have what we need to get started. So my background, I also like to mention, I was an influencer, which I think is very important because we made it with an influencer-first model and made sure that we built something the influencers want to use. So next steps is to automate and scale. And you can see our growth quarter over quarter, and we're on track to hit our goal for this quarter. We have a few technology in the pipeline, and I'm running out of time, but we're raising 1.1 million, and this is where we want to use it. And thank you for your time.
All right.
Nicely done. Can you talk a little bit about the competitive landscape? So there seem to be a number of companies, the hot space, definitely growing, going to be big, but there are a number of companies who are trying to aggregate these smaller influencers?
Yeah, so the space is incredibly fragmented. As somebody who worked in it for 5 years, I've used a ton of the competitors, I guess you would say, and I find they fall into 2 categories. There's the platforms that are really like the yellow pages of influencer marketing mixed with a CRM. So you can go and search them, and then you can build lists, and then you can message them, and then you can email them. That's what 90% of these platforms fall into, and then you need a lot of management on top of it. So we replace that piece. The other side is the managed services. So there's a lot of companies that do more the agency model, which isn't scalable, but they do a good job with it, but it causes them to have much higher cost to barrier to entry. We're a hybrid of the 2 where we figured out a way to scale the managed services piece for brands that don't want to do that.
And what is the managed services piece?
So like some brands will actually pay an agency to do all of that management that I was mentioning, buy the software, which is what we used to do at my agency. We'd buy the software and then message them all one by one and actually manage the campaign for them.
Got it.
Jason?
Well, every time I come to Miami, I find one or two companies to invest in. So the last trip I was here cost me $200,000. And this trip I've met 3, so it's going to cost me $300,000. It's getting expensive to come here, but I'm a huge fan of the company, and I think it's going to scale incredibly gracefully. It's very hard to make a margin on this kind of business, but for these brands, it's so affordable to just spend $100 to get an Instagram post and some feedback on their product. And the real secret weapon here is going to be, well, if 500 people take a picture of themselves with the watch, maybe 3 or 4 of those photos would be so good you could put them in your advertising campaign, and that could be another $50,000 per photo or $25,000 per photo for Statosphere. So I'm very bullish on the company, and I'm very bullish on Miami.
Is there a question in there?
No, I'm just promoting. I'm just promoting.
Armando?
Well, to start off, great presentation, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Yes, my pleasure. Now, to me, it was, I find kind of like a contradiction. So we started off with word of mouth, okay, because we live by word of mouth, and that's something that I feel that's been lost in society, to be honest with you. So I love the fact that you're finding a way to bring word of mouth back, okay? Now, my question is, obviously we see that this can work. How long can this work for? How long is social media still cool? How long is this going to be around for? Because as these companies, we know they'll pivot quick, and they'll take every Q1, Q2, Q3, or Q4 dollars, and they'll give it to anything that's moving. So let's call it, there's definitely something here. But what would be if you needed to pivot? How would you take the business and mutate it and modify it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've actually made sure very methodically to make it platform agnostic, because we know there's always going to be another platform that's going to pop up. Programs or platforms like Instagram have allowed people to really build these personal brands in a way that's never happened before. So it's really just the word of mouth amplified, like you're saying. And what's interesting is, I believe whether it's Instagram or something we've never heard of, these influencers already have these audiences and they follow them. So we built it in a way where already when Instagram Story came out, we already started offering that the next month because it was very easy for us.
So the reason that I'm excited and understand it to a certain extent, because it looks like an artist and a music label. Okay, now what you're becoming is basically the music label. Now when it comes to these influencers, do you have a contract with them where now they're yours for 3 to 5 years, or if they hit certain numbers, they get certain bonuses? I'm just trying to see, because it's an amazing platform.
So,
question is, how do you keep it?
Yeah, so we do allow influencers. We're not exclusive to us. As an influencer myself, that was really important to me, that we want them to have as many opportunities as possible. But what's interesting is the influencers that start with us, so we've had some that only have 10,000 when they started with us. She has over 100,000. She's still claiming with us because we built that relationship. We thought we would get some that would fall off and would stop claiming because they get too big. But they're actually still claiming with us because I think we've built a very special, almost club that they feel like. But we are similar, like you're saying, to the music industry in a way where we're...
It's pretty much the same model. Now, one more question. As far as I've seen data, I see you aggregate the influencers, the co-influencers, which in turn touch more people than the influencers, right? I mean, estoy equivocado, ahora mismo estoy confundido. Meaning a little confused. I'm trying to bring it all together and circle it back. When it comes to the data, do you get the influencers' data, or do you get the person that's signing up to the influencers' data, or is there any data involved in this process?
So the influencers fill out a profile about themselves, and then the brands fill out a buyer persona of who they want to target, and we do the matchmaking. So the brands don't actually see any of the data that the influencers give us. We match them with our system.
Okay. Perfect. So it becomes like a focus group for you,
Yeah,
and then you're able to break down the markets
and it's
for the
almost like
companies.
Match.com for brands and influencers, that are our system that matches them.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, great to hear, and thank you for the presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And next up is our 4th contestant, Zendu, helping small businesses with bookkeeping and accounting. Zendu.
Zendu.
Not to be
Hello.
confused with Xanadu.
Hi there. Hi, how are you? Hi. My name is Lil Roberts. I'm co-founder of Zendu. Zendu is a cloud-based monthly subscription providing bookkeeping and CPA services for the small business owner. Today's small business owners are flying blind. 92% of small businesses operate their business out of their bank account. The category is less than 20 employees, right? 82% of those, based on the US Bank study, that go out of business in that category fail because they run out of cash. So sad, right? Totally sad. Why is this happening? The CPA industry is archaic. The world is moving fast, and they haven't kept up, right? There are outdated methods, unavailable, can't reach them by phone, right? Unpredictable pricing, and they don't know the current business models of today, like micro-influencers. E-com businesses selling pocket squares. We have a guy that does that. It's kind of crazy, right? How does Zendu solve this problem? We have automated 80% of the bookkeeper's tasks through machine learning. That allows us to deliver the small business owner's profit and loss statement by the unprecedented 5th business day of the following month. Traditionally, that happens for small business owners 30 to 45 days out. By doing that, that allows our team to spend the time to give the small business owner the care and the attention that they deserve. It allows them to have the freedom, the peace of mind to do what they do, to do what they love, to grow their businesses. We do all of this for a flat monthly rate of $200 a month, $2,400 a year. It takes them from the profit and loss to their IRS notices that we answer, to the unlimited tax planning and tax strategy, and all the way through to their corporate tax return at the end of the year. My partner and I, we have built and exited multiple businesses in many industries. And my partner has sat on both sides of the table as he's a licensed CPA. So he knows firsthand how the CPA industry has not kept up. We've been very fortunate to attract a strong team, strong advisory board with people like Andy Lark, who was with Xero, Brad Tuckman from Creative Drive, who's here with us today, and also Mike Morris from Grasshopper. And collectively, our advisory board has experienced exits totaling over $500 million in the digital and technology space. Our marketplace, small businesses in the United States, 28 million of them. And the addressable revenue in that marketplace at our pricing, subscription pricing, is over $67 billion annually. And much higher if you look at the current pricing in the traditional marketplace. Right. So how are we doing? We closed our first round in Q4 in 2017. November, we launched a focused campaign, marketing campaign. And the 4 months since then, we have a month-over-month average growth of 22%. And that's with a CAC of $500. In March 2018, we closed the month with $73,580. 42,000 of that was monthly recurring revenue, and the remainder, catch-up services, tax returns. Our projections, conservative financial projections, have us growing to 9,800 users by 2022 with 28 million in revenue, and we will close this year with 800 users and 1.6 million run rate of recurring revenue, not counting the extra charges to bring the users on and catch them up. We're very grateful to be at Emerge. We've been learning, we've been growing. We have a strong team, we have early traction, and we're here today looking for the right people that share our passion, our vision for reshaping an outdated industry. Thank you.
This is a phenomenally boring company that is going to print money, and that's fantastic.
Thank you.
I think next time, show the product a little bit. It's a very fancy deck and a lot of time on the advisors. Actually, I visited you in the booth, and the product looks really interesting, and so always show the product. I think the margin is going to be the challenge for your business. So it's amazing that the lifetime value of this customer is going to be $10,000 or something to that effect if they stick with it for 4 years. So you can spend up to $500 acquiring each one, as opposed to Daycation, which is making $15 a customer. So it's much more difficult to acquire those customers. So my question for you is, what's the margin on this? Because you have to pay bookkeepers, and you have to do a lot of work. Is it a 10%, 20%, 30% margin business?
So it is...
End of the day.
End of the day, and thank you because you did stop by and we greatly appreciated your time. So we're at a 70% gross margin, and at the end of the day, after speaking with you, we went back and we looked at everything, we end up with a 52%.
Yeah, that's going to be the key to become venture scale. And that's going to be, you're going to do that through software. So really focus on that software. Every time you make something 1 or 2% more efficient, it doesn't seem like a lot, right? But if you do 20 things a year, now you're going to be 20, 30, 40% more efficient than your competitors, and that's where the margin will come. Little gains.
Thank you. And we 10x the bookkeeper. So typical CPA, it's bookkeeper handles 25 clients, and our bookkeepers handle 250. And actually, we see them handling 300. But we thought, oh my God, that's way too much. But as we all know, with machine learning, you can achieve those numbers. So thank you very much for that. We're going to do what you're saying.
All right.
Watch that line.
First off, thank you for focusing on small businesses. It's the heart of America. It's our lifeblood. Most of Americans work for small businesses, so thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I worry that it's going to be difficult to get these mom and pop operations on board, right? They're not used to having bookkeepers and having good books and all. It's all a cash business. How do you help them go from a shoebox to, a web interface?
I'm smiling because we're amazed at really how easy it is to acquire them so far. Now we're acquiring 40 a month, not 200 yet a month. And we're kind of holding it that. We're holding it tempered so as we're learning and making sure we're not disappointing. It's the new economy. So Amazon alone, the e-com businesses, we have clients that are from Russia, Belgium, Sweden that are having American, U.S. Amazon businesses. And just Amazon businesses alone, they totally get it. The traditional market doesn't know how to connect them. They don't deal with shoeboxes. We don't deal with shoeboxes. If somebody calls us and says, oh, we want to send you stuff, we connect digitally. And so that's the only way.
So they have to be using, let's say, a QuickBooks or something, some minimal level of automation.
Not at all. So most of our clients, they're under 20 employees. So 5 to 10 employees are out of their bank account. So they're not even using QuickBooks or Xero. We wrapped our software around Xero instead of building out our own P&L and having it proprietary. So we said, hey, we're here to take care of small businesses. Let's get to market and let's scale, right? So they don't have something. We actually are the ones with the books, and we invite them in to teach them how they can go in and actually, use the accounting software for them to do their business. Thank you.
Well, as far as myself, me growing up, my father, after extracurricular activities in the 80s in Miami, became an accountant. So I seen exactly the kind of trust and how people would come over and trust them with everything they had going on and how they would go and grow the business. Type of accountant that would tell you had 6 kids instead of 2 kids, But either or, it was that kind of game, right? But what I love about it is that the small business also being able to give them an opportunity. The only thing I'm asking is pretty much what you're saying. How scalable is this for real? Can you really meet the supply and demand? If it were to get to a certain level, how do we bring in, because it's literally going to take an army to handle the kind of numbers that you're talking about right there. Is it something that the people need? Absolutely. Is it something that, how can I put, is going to help them to be able to grow? Absolutely. Will you guys be able to grow at that level?
Great question, thank you. So each pod handles 1,000 users. So that's 3 CPAs, accountants, and 4 bookkeepers. And the bookkeepers don't need to be bookkeepers that they've gone to college. The software is what's the key. So for 15,000 clients, you're looking at 7 times 15, 105 people, right? To bring in that side of it.
105 people are handling 15,000 people?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Now here's my next question. Just going to the next one. Now if I were to get audited by the IRS, okay, does your company become a buffer in between me and the IRS, or am I still taking a hit for you guys?
You're absolutely not going to take the hit. We're our
You
own
guys
hit
would take
people,
the hit.
right?
So if the books were to get messed up, you guys would take the hit for that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hey, when you say your dad was in extracurricular activities like tennis or chess,
Anybody
like
from
a
Miami
hobby?
knows what I'm talking about.
Well,
See, his son got the key to Miami. He had the key to Miami, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, different keys.
That's right.
Oh, like the Florida keys. I've heard of this.
That's right.
Florida keys, yes.
All right, thank
He
you for
offered me
presenting
one of the
Zendu.
keys
Appreciate it.
backstage.
Thank you so much.
My
you.
pleasure.
Good job.
Thank you so much, Lily.
Really well done.
Well done.
I love that she's found that beachhead in the Amazon affiliate people because
Yeah.
they're very entrepreneurial, and it
That's
reminds
a way
me of
to
when
get
PayPal
thousands of
attached
customers
to-
quickly.
Yeah, PayPal attached to eBay and was
Yeah.
able to build inside of that ecosystem. So I could see them building inside the Amazon ecosystem.
Gentlemen, last but not least, we have Cancer Aid, an app that helps cancer patients. Please join us on stage to present your company. Hello.
Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Nikhil Pavaya. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Cancer Aid. Cancer Aid is an app that helps cancer patients navigate through their cancer journey. Our app is already globally the #1 app in the world. But today at Emerge Americas, I'm very excited to share with you how we help cancer patients live longer. As a cancer doctor, I can tell you being diagnosed with cancer is devastating. Patients feel shocked. How could this ever happen to me? They feel confused. Where do I start? What do I tell my family? They feel disorganized. How do I remember hundreds of appointments? Who helps me when I'm unwell at home? And most importantly, they feel alone. Who can I talk to? Who's going to provide the support that I need? So 3 years ago, I know that patients who have the right systems in place have the best outcomes. So we developed Cancer Aid to help patients who are missing that support. 20,000 patients globally already use our app, making us the #1 cancer app in the world. Since coming to the US 6 months ago, we've had a 300% increase in our US users. Cancer Aid provides patients with 4 key solutions. Our first feature provides patients with personalized cancer and treatment information. When I see a new patient in clinic, I discuss a lot of that information verbally, but I don't necessarily provide patients with anything written. So Cancer Aid allows patients to take the app home, read the information at their own pace, and share it with their family. We also provide a journey organizer. Patients can use a personal journal and they can microblog their experiences and share them with their family. We also have a symptom journal where patients can record their symptoms, side effects, and their complications. We also have a feature called Champions, which allows patients to nominate a support network of personal champions and medical champions. And what they can do is actually share aspects of their Cancer Aid profile with their champions. So for a family member or a friend or a work colleague, they can now keep up to date in real time with their loved one. For a medical champion, like a doctor or a nurse or an allied health team member, they can monitor the progress of their patients without being face-to-face, which is quite cool. But the stickiest feature is the community. So we know that living with cancer can be a very isolating experience for many. So we've created a newsfeed similar to Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. We have patient stories, caregiver stories, motivational quotes, cancer news, cancer research, and cancer tips. This by far gets the most engagement and retention from users on our platform. Our app is free to patients. We sell enterprise licenses to US health systems. Customers who sign up receive symptom journal integration directly into their EMR. This means that patients who use the symptom journal at home can have care teams in the hospital track their symptoms in real time. This allows them to make better clinical decisions and better manage their patients. Customers like Cedars-Sinai license our technology, which means they can reduce ER visits and 30-day readmissions, which equates to $19,000 of cost savings per patient per year. It also improves patient satisfaction, which can be worth up to $250,000 of revenue from a patient staying at Cedars-Sinai. But the best part, patients who have a feedback loop back to their care team can on average live 5.5 months longer. Cancer Aid is globally recognized. Apple have showcased us as one of their flagship health apps in their press release. Richard Branson awarded us the best global startup last year. Steve Wozniak awarded us the best startup creating social impact and actually commended our Champions feature. We've even dived into a tank with sharks, securing one of the largest deals ever in Shark Tank history. We know that making digital health apps is very hard. So both my co-founder Raghav and I are oncologists. We've recruited a team of top engineers, physicians, and marketing specialists that have allowed us to raise $2.2 million of investment, take our product to market, and sign up early customers. Right now, we have 4 health systems working with us, totaling $540,000 of annualized recurring revenue. Our next milestone for Series A is at $2 million in annualized recurring revenue, and we hope to be there by the end of this year. The good news is, patients at 80 of the top US health systems already have patients using our app. We have many competitors in this space. There are hundreds of cancer apps. Where we've differentiated is that we are the first cancer app to actually integrate into the medical record, which is a very hard process, and we have patents around this. We know we're creating something extremely valuable. We're creating social impact, and we're helping patients. We're the market leader in this space, and we know we want to expand our operations to actually do dataset analysis as well. Thank you for your time, and if anyone knows anyone diagnosed with cancer, we'd love you to tell them about our app. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikhil. Questions?
And this is my colleague Nick, who's our director of BD.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone.
Great. Obviously doing wonderful work. Can you talk to me a little bit about how do you get the additional, let's say, 5 months? You mentioned that cancer patient using the app on average lives 5 months longer. How does that work? Talk me through that a little bit.
Yeah, so it was actually based on a study that came out of MSK. It was the first randomized controlled trial that showed a survival benefit from patients using a symptom journal. So in this study, they had advanced cancer patients using a symptom journal, very similar to ours, and care teams were able to actually intervene earlier when symptoms got worse. So the idea is that patients have better health-seeking behaviors, but care teams better manage their symptoms so that they stayed on the treatments longer. So 5.5 months is like incredible in oncology. Right. Pharmaceutical companies invest billions of dollars to move the needle a few weeks. So for something so simple like symptom tracking, to create 5 months of advantage was just remarkable.
So that was with a generic symptom journal, not your specific one.
Yeah, correct. So what we've done is we know there's value in that. So we've put in patents around authenticating a patient with that symptom tracker, as well as patents around the actual symptom tracking itself. That same symptom journal was in our app for 2 years. We just never had evidence like that to show it. So it was great that it came out.
That's great.
Questions?
And why do you need us? It seems like you have 80 of the top 200 hospitals. You have a bunch of folks using it and off to the races. How could additional capital accelerate your efforts?
So you're right. One of the things is that we have a fantastic network of partners and great visibility in the space. Sales cycles in healthcare are difficult and a little bit longer than the average consumer application. So from our point of view, the capital really enables us to get in front of the right people. Luckily, we've short-circuited the sales cycle somewhat by having those patients and those clinicians already adopting the technology on a free basis. But really, the capital will enable us to add new product features, particularly around analytics on the preventative measures for patients in the community to prevent them from attending the ER.
It's, I think, awesome that you're choosing to do this work. The 3 most difficult categories for founders in 2018 are construction, housing, health, and education. It also turns out that those are the most expensive categories in terms of price appreciation. So jeans and software and cars are getting cheaper. Health and homes and college degrees are getting wildly expensive. And so congratulations on that, but it also means that you're going to have an incredibly hard time with this long sales cycle. And I think you're doing a lot of different things. It feels like the app has 5 or 6 features, so just one piece of advice might be to deprecate stuff that's not working and really focus on that journal and that community. Those 2 things seem to work, and the app seems a little bit confusing that there's so many different things going on. So just unsolicited advice, if 2 things are working, it's 90% of the activity, just triple down on that and get rid of the other stuff. Is there a play for consumers to pay, or consumers just will not pay for this? Because if it's going to be years to get 500K after 2 years, then another 500K. This is never going to be a huge business. It's going to be a boutique business, and it needs to be a huge business. So what about charging people $10 a month?
Sure. So the $500,000 we've actually closed in the last 6 months since we monetized the product. So really, we've been a revenue-generating business.
And that's 4 customers, 125 each?
No, varying size of the hospitals, depending on the health system and the amount of patients they have within the oncology clinic, and different payers
Got
and pharma companies.
What's the average size?
Average size, well, Cedars-Sinai has 1,000 patients, and then we work with a smaller hospital in Australia, which has 120.
1,000 patients, how much a month?
So we actually have a contract with them on a monthly enterprise subscription, but now moved into a per patient per month basis of around $15 per patient.
Yeah, make sure you price it correctly.
Yeah.
And what about the insurance companies? Will they pay you, or?
Insurance sales cycles are even longer, so we're not approaching the payers right now, although we'd be willing to open up a conversation with anybody and see if there's interest.
And my original final question, would consumers pay?
It's a difficult one. Nick and I are both physicians, and the reason for which we built the application is really to educate and empower the oncology community. So from that perspective, we're reticent to charge oncology patients because part of the value out of this platform is that we support cancer patients, and we don't know what the
cancer
appetite is.
patients are dying of cancer. Like, they'll pay anything. Like, wouldn't a modest amount that provided massive value be worth it?
Yeah, look, this is something we can explore, and we have thought about it.
Yeah.
Certainly from day one, one of the reasons we became doctors was to help patients, and we felt like we never really wanted to charge patients. So we have enough value in ROI from providers and health systems and pharmaceutical companies now with clinical trials that we're exploring. So there's enough money in there with expenditures and cost savings that hopefully some of these other stakeholders can cover for these patients.
Just as a point of reference, I was the first investor in Calm.com, which was Apple's app of the year last year. They charge like $10 a month, or maybe it's $8 a month, and people are willing to pay that for a meditation app. You're an app that's helping them live longer. So I wouldn't underestimate what people are willing to pay, and I would challenge yourself to think about providing enough value that people feel great about paying. So both of my parents are cancer survivors, and if this was available when my mom had breast cancer in 2000, or my dad when he had prostate cancer in 2007, I would have paid any amount of money. And if I could get a concierge doctor or some advice, we were looking for that. And so I think you're onto something, but don't sell yourself short, and don't underestimate people's willingness to pay.
I like the aspect of the relatives.
Running
So
out
it
of
seems
time.
like you're not necessarily taking advantage of the patient, but having the relatives pay for it.
Yeah.
I like
Last
that.
word?
Yeah, as far as for me, also my grandmother beat cancer. My brother died from cancer, and I have someone very special to me that's dealing with cancer right now. I'm a big believer in mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. So if you have somebody that's being able to coach you, motivate you, inspire you, yes, I understand that it'll give you those 5 months and a half more of life, and hopefully, you beat it, let's just say. Now, my question is this, because I look long term. You're running into a field where you're dealing with conglomerates, animals, Goliaths, monsters, where the minute that they feel that you're making people healthier, because the business is not in getting healthier, the business is in getting sicker. You guys are physicians. You know this. You know what the numbers look like. So with that said, is what happens when one of these animals, you happen to wake up one of these sleeping giants, and you know who I'm talking about at the end of the day, and they go, okay, you guys are making people healthier through this app. How are you going to handle that? Because you know they're going to come and try to shut down the business one way or another. I'm just being real with you.
Yeah, look, there's many
Real
stakeholders that have, these intentions, we believe. So certainly with health systems, Australia, we come from Australia, and like that is a different health system completely to yours. Where we see us playing long term is with the data. So we know that we're capturing a lot of patient demographic data, treatment outcome data, as well as environmental data. Like, that is going to be the most valuable to all these stakeholders, regardless of how much patients are either living or not living. So like, there's enough in there from the data that these stakeholders should be excited about it.
But then it's a whole other business.
And to talk to your point about the survivorship, 5 months longer for a pharmaceutical company is 5 months longer on treatment. So there is a model for them as well.
That's a good point. Cancer Aid, thank you
Wonderful.
so much.
Thanks.
And that does it. Those are our 5 incredible companies. We are now going to ask our judges to go backstage and deliberate and pick a winner. Stay tuned.
Hi, everybody. How about those startups? Let's give them another round of applause, please. They've worked really, really hard to get here. And a round of applause for our amazing judges as well. And how about that Smackathon announcement. This is presented by Emerge Americas and Pitbull and powered by Zeppelin. Go to smackathon.co to find out all the details. The challenge is open for 30 days. There's prizes involved, and I hope you get on the website and learn more about it. Yeah, we could clap for that. As you know, there are many exciting components to Emerge. There's many challenges that we host and competitions that we host. So while our judges deliberate for a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about a few of them and announce some of the winners. So we're going to start with the Visa Challenge at Emerge Americas, which was a month-long challenge that focused on payment systems and methods, and the prize is $5,000. The second one is the Emerge Americas Hackathon 2018. This was a 24-hour challenge, overnight, Saturday morning all the way to Sunday afternoon. It was hosted at Miami-Dade College in partnership with WinCode Academy and our amazing sponsors, Kairos, Cloudinary, Royal Caribbean, and the sponsors that kept our developers very fueled throughout the day, which was McDonald's, Power Pizzeria, and My Ceviche. This year, the theme of the hackathon was Miami Resilience, and we were looking for solutions that make Miami even more resilient than it already is. The winner of both the Visa Challenge, by complete coincidence, and the Hackathon 2018 Challenge is a team called Vendiflow. Welcome, Vendiflow.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Grammy Award-winning entertainer,
Congrats. Good job. Thank you. You're welcome. Congrats. 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 All right, we're going to do we'll stand up here. Yeah, let's do the Visa. Go ahead, yeah, show it. No, we have a photographer. Look, right there. Thank you. And now, where's, WinCode? Another photo op with the same winner. Yeah. Go. Okay, so our next award was really exciting, and it was something new that we added to the Emerge America Startup Showcase, and it's called our Startup Fan Favorite Award. So through our Emerge Americas app, you're able to vote. All attendees were able to vote for their favorite startup. And the winner of the Fan Favorite Award wins $3,000 in Google Cloud credits and 6 months at the Lab Miami. The winner of our Emerge Americas 2018 Startup Fan Favorite Award is Tidbit. Where are they? Congratulations. So the judges are going to come up in a few minutes to tell us who the winner is, but before they come up, I just want to talk you through a little bit what this winner wins. So Part of the prize is the ultimate startup experience. They're going to be able to have an in-person meeting with Michael Seibel from Y Combinator. They're going to be flown there to the Valley through American Airlines. They're going to be put up in the Lowe's Regency in San Francisco, and will be able to experience that at no cost to them. They are also going to get a 1-year subscription to CNBC Pro. Thank you to CNBC, who's been an incredible partner of ours, and a couple other experiences with CNBC as well. They're going to get $100,000 in Google Cloud and Firebase credits, which is pretty incredible for them. Access to all 500 Startups Miami Founder Boot Camps. They're going to be able to be back at Emerge Americas 2019 next year, which is April 29th and 30th. Mark your calendars. And they'll be able to share their story, have booth space, and connect with many investors, entrepreneurs next year. And a $10,000 credit provided by American Airlines. Please, a round of applause for all of our sponsors of this incredible prize package for our winner. So hopefully they're ready to announce the winner. Let's see. Are we ready back there? Seema and the judges. Dun, dun, dun.
All right.
Oh, you have yours.
Here we go.
Oh my God, it's so exciting.
Drum roll.
I think we should give Melissa a big round of applause because this event's
I know.
amazing.
So
I'm so
thank you,
impressed.
Melissa.
Really good.
Awesome
All right.
event.
After
Awesome
much
event.
deliberation, this was a very hard task.
It was.
The
They
three
were all
judges,
great companies. It was very difficult.
but they've picked one, and the winner is
You got it.
I got it. We're gonna go with Zendu.
Zendu. Please come join us.
Come up on stage.
So come up on stage.
You gotta run. You gotta run. You gotta be excited. There it is. There it is.
All right, let's hear it for them.
Nice job. Congratulations. There you go.
Congratulations.
And
Well done. Congratulations.
of course.
Congratulations. Yeah. Nice job. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Good job.
Congratulations. Here's the
Good job.
award.
Yeah. Very good. Good job. Congratulations. Yeah.
And Zendu,
I got one.
one special announcement for you.
Yes, we have an
Yeah,
announcement.
courtesy of Jason.
I just want to say I'm wildly impressed with the companies here, so much so that I wanted to offer Zendu, and if you don't take it, then it will go to my next pick, which will be Day Tripper. Did I get it right? Daycation, rather. Day Tripper, I don't know, Daycation, whatever it is. I like the kid. He was a good presenter. He's got a lot of enthusiasm. He got into Brown. I'd like to offer you $100,000 and to come to our incubator if you are so choose to do so. If you're not interested in that and coming to Silicon Valley, then it'll be Day Trippers. But
All right.
Woo. So hopefully, if you want to come hang out for 12 weeks in Silicon Valley. Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful.
Come on, guys.
Judges.
Yeah, pictures.
Here we go. We're looking at that camera?
There's like all of them. Yeah.
Which iPhone are we looking at?
All right.
You got him?
Got him? Yeah.
All right. Beautiful. Got
All
it.
right.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much.
Good job.
My pleasure. Had a great time. Thank you. This is a great company.